In today's video, coming up, my top 5 favorite quick tips for music producers.
Why did we waste our only time?
I'm done now with the meeting at the bank and it went pretty good. Really, way better than I expected. This doesn't mean all problems are gone, but they're reduced by a whole lot. I feel so good about it that I got me a small little something. This is kind of what the Oreo cake is for the US here in Germany. They're really good. I just have to be careful not to eat all of them. Just one more, maybe another one. That's definitely the last one. Just getting my charger, not another cookie. That's still the same, promise. First task for today is writing the guy that won these headphones an email to let him know that he won them. Just get back to me and I will send them out. Second task I already started with. I have here a folder with I think 8 or 9 of my tracks, all of them instrumentals, and I'm sending them out to Olaf Bezowski. That's the one that I talked on Skype a couple of days ago. He's a very big famous house DJ and he was so nice to offer me to help me to find vocalists for these tracks. So with a bit of luck I will have new vocals very soon and new tracks to finish. I'm still waiting for the contract of Aaron to be able to work on the Open Your Eyes and Final Warning track. So I thought about just going back to my Dawning track since it's going to be released with the 3 remix contest winners, and just some small things in the track that bother me because I made it like more than a year ago. I learned some new things and I'd love to apply them to the track before it gets released again with the other tracks. So that's actually the entirety of the Dawning track. It just has 28 tracks. That's all that is in the track. I think I already made an entire video on how I've made the track where I show you everything that is in it. I will link the video down below if I can find it. And now it's just time to change like really small things. For example, there's like an off hi-hat that is maybe half a dB or 1 dB too loud and too harsh. So I will try to EQ it and lower it a bit. It's really this hi-hat here. That is a tiny bit too loud. Just to not mess with the automation, I usually just open up the EQ and raise and lower the volume here at the gain knob. This way, if I have somewhere automation, it's not changing it, which is always a bit messy in Logic. And I think I can try to further EQ this hi-hat. There are some resonating frequencies, and whenever I have these, I set up one band, very narrow, and push it all the way up and just loop the hi-hat, go through the frequencies and try to find the frequency that is the most annoying. But this one is really bad, so I'm lowering it by 24 dB and compare it again. This way the hi-hat still sounds the same, it still has the same sound, the tone doesn't change, especially in the mix you can't hear the difference. But if you listen to it on a loud system in a club, this frequency is really resonating and could hurt your ear. And also if you listen to it in your car stereo, it just sounds a whole lot cleaner and it fits better into the mix with all of the other elements. The easiest way to get rid of it is just marking the region and go here into the region panel. And here you have the possibility to create a fade in and fade out. In this track the click is at the end, so applying a little bit of a fade out. This is just creating here at the end of the audio file this graph that just makes sure that there is no click from the cutting. Now that this is done, I will just set a loop to the main part of the track, listen to it and try to improve the mixing a tiny bit. I don't want to change the track entirely, I still want it to be the same track. Just get rid of the things that bother me and keep it still the same as much as possible. I don't want that people think it's another version or another track. It's mostly just for me, the changes that I do. I'm all done changing the mixing so slightly that it wasn't really worth it, but I still did it. I gave you the tip with how to get rid of the click sounds with the fade in and fade out, and also how to get rid of those resonant frequencies in the hi-hats. Now let's continue with another small tip, and it all has to do with organizing your project. This is an old track. I didn't work on it for almost a year, but I still immediately know the top parts are the drums. I always keep the drums above the bass. The bass is always red. Effect sounds always blue, and they're anyways really short. The yellow parts are usually sustained things, pads, pianos, and another pad, also just a string to build up tension. Then the guitar is still blue. I usually try to color them in green. And then we have the vocal bits all here at the bottom of the project. And this way, no matter what project I open, I definitely know that the drums are above the bass is red, and the other things are usually below it, and I immediately know what's going on, where the things are. This way I can work way faster. There's nothing that saves me more time than coloring my project and keeping it organized. You can also open up here the marking section to give each of the sections a name. I didn't do it on this one, but usually I do it on all of my projects. I don't really know how to do these coloring and marking things on other DAWs, but I'm pretty sure they have the same features. And really try it out. It will save you so much time, especially going back to older projects. One last thing I want to do on this track is adding a little fatness to the bass line, the sub bass line. And I'm doing this in this case with adding a tiny bit of distortion. I will probably go for the bit crusher, just using the bit crusher that comes with Logic. What I really like to do is just to set the resolution and the downsampling. I usually use a downsampling of between 9 and maybe 15. I also add a lot more drive than might be necessary. And then I dial down the mix knob to maybe 20% or whatever I need on the sound. This way I get a little bit of the roughness of the bit crushing without really bit crushing the entire signal and making it sound distorted or too distorted. It's kind of like applying parallel compression to drums. I'm doing the same on a lot of effects, and I think it just sounds nicer. You get the tone that you need without really destroying it, so you get the feel of the distortion without the downsides. And when we're already speaking about parallel compression, let me show you how I parallel compress usually my drums. It has the same effect. You get drums that sound compressed and nice and crispy, have a lot of attack, without really destroying the entire dynamics. For the parallel compression I always use the glue because it has the built-in mixing knob, and it's an emulation of the SSL compressor. I set the threshold up all the way, the makeup is pretty high, the attack really low, the release really short, and the ratio also as high as it goes. And as you can see from the gain reduction meter, it's extremely compressed. But I'm just using 6% of it, and this way I get really a nice compressed sound without, again, the downsides of having a heavily compressed sound.
Is it you or is it me? I don't know, I just keep letting us go. It's time.
I'm done with another productive day in the studio now, picking up Vanessa just to probably get something to eat. And she's never done in time. I always have to go up here and pick her up from her desk. 30 minutes later, Vanessa's finally done with work. That's the downside of having a boss. You can't decide yourself. I can go whenever I want, and that's just awesome. Hard-working man. Oliver is working in this really nice and cool building. We have to get a sundowner.
Yes, of course.
So maybe...
But now it's a little bit late because...
Yeah, not today.
Mach den Männerabend.
Yeah.
Ciao. We agreed on getting drinks there on Thursday. Come, come, come. Baby ducks. There. We have now arrived here at the Markas, and it's like a private club for artists. Both of my parents should be in there, and this entire place is really made for the artists here in Düsseldorf, and it has like a private garden that is pretty huge and right here in the city center. Ready or still on the phone?
No, I'm ready.
You've never been here?
No, never.
It's really nice. It's really private. But my dad should be somewhere around here and drawing, painting. Ah, there he is. He has already some fans. That's my dad. That's his working place for the day. Gerade erst angefangen.
Soll ich ein anderes holen? Da liegen alle.
He just started a new one, but the finished ones are all over there. Which one is your favorite?
I like those two. The one on the right up there and on the left as well.
So all of them.
Almost, yeah.
Already eating. Ciao. That's all of my dad's stuff. And these are all of the other artists drinking. This was a whole lot of fun. Now just walking back home, and tomorrow another exciting day in the studio. Dr. Zoidberg.
Another time. I try to see what we knew. I try to breathe. Is it you or is it me?